Hello everyone, welcome back all of you. In this session we are going to have discussion on Hall effect sensor, and we'll try to understand the working principle of it, and also we'll try to have the small discussion on which kind of material or elements are going to show the Hall effect. And also once we are done with the principle of it, we'll try to understand that how we are actually going to make use of it in the practical industrial application, because being an instrumentation engineer, knowing about the devices or their working principle is the first part, but physically we have to implement it in our real life, so we should have the idea about the practical implementation also. So this is nothing but going to be the sensor part. We have to understand the working principle, but if you are talking about industrial instrumentation, that is going to be the practical part. So as of now, just have the look of its working principle. So when a conductor is placed in a transverse magnetic field, the Hall EMF is generated at the edges of the conductor. So we have one conductor, and if we are placing it in the transverse magnetic field, what does that mean? That magnetic field is going to be perpendicular to our Hall effect sensor, or we say conductor. So this is nothing but a conductor, and we are giving the magnetic field. This is the north pole and this is the south pole. So we have the magnetic field in the vertical direction, and this is connected with a circuitry. So we are providing the current to this particular conductor. So what is going to happen due to the current? We are going to have movable electrons in it, so they are going to pass through the conductor. So what is going to happen when the electron is passing? It is going to have some velocity with it, and so I am taking the velocity as v. And once the magnetic field is once it is coming in the magnetic field, so we are going to feel the force as Lorentz force, so which is given nothing but as force is equal to q into v cross v. So I am taking the direction of velocity is this one, and the magnetic field strength v is in the downward direction. So force is equal to q into v cross v. So if q is positive, we are going to have positive ions on this particular side, and if the ions are negative, so we are going to get them on the back side. So if this is a conductor, this is the velocity of electron, and we have magnetic field in the vertical direction. So using the Lorentz force law, force is equal to q into v cross v. So as of now, just forget about q, v cross v. So velocity cross magnetic field. So we are going to get direction in this particular manner. So if we have positive charge, direction will be same only. If we have negative charge, direction will be reverse, because if q is positive, this is going to be the direction, and q it is negative, then on the this particular side we are going to get the electrons accumulated. So this is going to be positive side, and this is going to be the negative terminal. So by doing the force calculation as q into v cross v, we are going to have the accumulation of charges on the opposite faces on 90 degree. So that's what we are going to call it as Hall EMF. So Hall EMF, it is going to be proportional to magnetic field strength and the intensity of current which is passing in the path or the circuit, and the inversely proportional to the thickness, because if we have more thick conductor with us, we are going to have the less mobility, because mobility is nothing but ease of traveling. So if we have more crowd, we are going to have the less mobility. So lesser the thickness, higher the mobility, so it is going to be inversely proportional to the thickness. So these three factors we have to keep in mind. So Hall EMF EH is going to be proportional to B into I divided by T, and if we remove the proportionality, we are going to get one constant that we are going to call it as Hall coefficient. So EH is equal to KH BI by T. So this is going to be very important one. This is going to play a very crucial role when we are dealing with the problems related to Hall effect sensor. Only one formula is going to solve all our problems, but the concept we should have in our mind that we are going to make use of Lorentz force law. Force is equal to q into v cross b. And also, as I said, which kind of material is going to show the Hall effect, we are clear with that it is going to be a conductor. So I have taken one problem also, question that Hall effect is observed in which kind of material. So option A is metal, option B is semiconductor, and option C is dielectric. So metals and semiconductor, both of they are conductor, right? But dielectric is an insulator. So A and B both are going to have the Hall effect. So option D will be the answer. So this is the basic idea about Hall effect, and same kind of electromagnetic principle we had the look in the electromagnetic flow meter also, but their formula E naught was nothing but BVL. So B was magnetic field strength, V is the velocity of flow, and L is the length. So length nothing but the diameter of pipe. So same kind of strategy is there, but in the case of Hall effect sensor we have to deal with the current thickness and magnetic field strength. So let us talk about the practical implementation of Hall effect sensor as well. Having understood about the working principle of Hall effect sensor, now let us try to understand that how we are going to make use of this particular sensor in our industrial applications. So we know that the Hall output voltage is going to be EH is equal to KH Hall effect coefficient B into I by T. So B is nothing but a magnetic flux density, or we call it as magnetic strength as well. So B is nothing but flux per unit area, and I is current, T is the thickness. So we know all the terminologies. So how we are going to make use of this particular effect, and the first application is going to be to know the strength of magnet, right? So we have the Hall coefficient of the magnet, we can measure the thickness of it, and also we have the value of current. So by measuring the output voltage we have the value of EH. So by making use of this particular formula we can write it something like EH into T divided by KH into I. So if we have all these four things, we can measure the magnetic field strength. So this is going to be the first application. And in the second one, if we wish to calculate the current, we can have the value of B and T, BT, and Hall coefficient and Hall voltage we can measure with the help of voltmeter. So we can calculate the current also. So it is going to be nothing but combinations of things, right? So if we have KHB, I and T, we can measure the Hall voltage, and if we have KH, I, T and Hall output voltage, we can measure the magnetic field strength. And if we have EH, KH, I and T, so EH, KH, B and T, so we can measure the current also. So this is nothing but combination of things. We have one formula, what are all the things are available. By using them we can calculate the unknown thing, provided that we have only one unknown. So that's the basic idea. So we are going to make use of Hall sensor in the knowing of strength of magnet, and also in the knowing the current in the circuit. And the third one is quite trickier one. So this is nothing but a problem that Hall transducer can be used to measure so current, voltage, pressure or displacement. So we have discussed here that we can measure the current or also the Hall voltage. So don't confuse yourself that the current and voltage both are present here. So for that we have to make use of little basic understanding also, because we can measure the displacement also with the help of Hall transducer. But the term mentioned here is nothing but transducer. So based on that we have to select the output as the answer as displacement, because what does that mean? Because transducer is nothing but, if it is mentioned like Hall sensor, so sensor can have the output as output quantity or output signal, right? So sensor can give the electrical output as well as non-electrical output, whereas the transducer is going to, the definition of transducer is nothing but the non-electrical quantity it is going to measure, and it is going to provide us the electrical output. So to select the input, because it is asking about what it can measure, so it is talking about the input. So we have to be very careful that our input should be non-electrical in the case of transducer, whereas in the case of sensor the input can be electrical or non-electrical, and the output also can be electrical or non-electrical. So based on this particular term transducer, we have non-electrical quantity can be converted into electrical one. So based on this Hall transducer term we have to mark our answer as displacement. So we have to be very careful, because gate is nothing but checking of your basic concept in a very deeper manner. So that is going to be the third application. And the fourth one, we are going to measure the liquid level. So this is going to be non-contact type. So we have Hall effect sensor or Hall device on the top of our tank, and we have the one ball, floating ball is there, and on top of that we have one magnet. So what we are doing here, we have the B, the magnetic field strength is the variable one. So with the height, if we are taking this particular ball nearer to the Hall sensor, we are going to have the more magnetic field strength, because if the magnet is far away, we are going to feel the less number of magnetic lines, once the magnet is coming nearer to the device, we are going to have the more number of lines in the range of Hall sensor. So we are having the magnetic field as variable one. So the equation is given as BH is equal to 0.3 plus 10H Weber per meter square, where H is the height in the meter, so height of the liquid level. So based on that, I have taken one practical example also. So this kind of strategy only is being used to frame the questions in the gate. So the given data I have taken as I is equal to 2 milliampere, and the thickness of Hall sensor I have taken as 1 centimeter, and the Hall coefficient I have taken as 1.5 voltmeter divided by Tesla ampere. So the unit we can get it from here. So because if we wish to write the unit of Hall coefficient, we can write volt into thickness is in meter, and divided by unit of B is Tesla, and the unit of current is ampere. So voltmeter divided by Tesla ampere. So now we have we are going to vary this particular height from 0 to 10 meters. So the minimum height of the float can be 0, and the maximum height of the float can be 10 meter with the variation in the level of liquid. So the 0 meter I am denoting as level 1. So if we have H is equal to 0, so B at H is equal to 0 is going to be 0.3, right? So we can get the output voltage EH as KH. KH is nothing but 1.5, B is 0.3, and current is nothing but 2 milliampere, but we have to put it in ampere because the unit is taken as ampere. So 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 divided by T. Thickness is nothing but 1 centimeter. So centimeter also we have to put it in meter. So we are going to get 0.09 volts. And if we are talking about level 2, and I am assuming the height as 10, so I am taking only two conditions, either completely empty or completely full. So at H equal to 10, we have magnetic field strength as 100 plus 0.3, so 100.3, right? So again, if we make use of our formula, EH is equal to KH is nothing but 1.5, and B is nothing but 100.3, and then current is nothing but 2 into 10 to the power minus 3, and the thickness is 10 to the power minus 2 because it is 1 centimeter. And if we calculate this, we are going to get the 30 volt. So in the level 0 condition, or height as 0, level 1 I have taken as the level 1. So if height is 0, we are going to get the voltage output as 0.09 volt, and if the float is at maximum height, or the level of water is maximum, I have denoted as level 2, and the due to the varying magnetic field, we are going to get the output voltage as 30 volts. So that's how we can make use of our Hall effect sensor in our industrial application. So in a quick manner, the first one is strength of magnet, the second one is measurement of current, and also the measurement of voltage. That is ultimately the main thing of Hall sensor. And if it is mentioned something like Hall transducer, so in that case we have to be very careful that transducer is converting non-electrical or measuring the non-electrical quantity and providing the electrical output. So the measurement has to be non-electrical one. So measurement has to be non-electrical one. And in the final case, we are going to measure the liquid level, and the benefit over here is that we are going to have the Hall sensor not in the contact of liquid. So we can have the Hall sensor at the top of our tank, and we can vary the magnetic field strength because we have magnet stick over this particular float. So if the magnet is coming nearer to the Hall sensor, we are going to have the more magnetic field strength, and if it is far away, we are going to have the less magnetic field strength. So that is nothing but B is the function of H. And based on that, I framed one question also, that on the lowest level we are going to get 0.09 volt, and the highest level we are going to get 30 volt. So that's all for this particular session. If you have any doubt, you are free to ask in the comment section. Thank you.